Violetta is a 10-year-old girl still in elementary school. Like other little girls her age, she wears pigtails, white shoes, and loves to play hopscotch and with dolls. Violetta was raised by her grandmother, and her family struggles financially. Her mother is a photographer, but her work involves a morally controversial form of artistic photography. Violetta's mother is frequently absent, maintaining illicit relationships outside the home. When she does come home, there are arguments with her grandmother, who disapproves of her daughter's means of making a living. However, out of economic necessity, the grandmother turns a blind eye, as the money her daughter brings in is the family's sole income. Violetta tells her grandmother that she wants to become famous and wealthy like celebrities on TV, so the family can eat cake and drink milk without financial worries. After a photo shoot, Violetta's mother is surprised to discover her daughter's natural aptitude for camera work. Taking Violetta to her studio, she unties her braids, changes her into a dress, and asks if she could do her a favor, to which Violetta readily agrees. However, when Violetta smiles nervously for the camera, her mother remarks that she looks unappealing when she smiles in pictures. Without hesitation, Violetta replaces her childlike, innocent smile with a more mature expression and pose, head down, eyes lowered. As her mother demonstrates the desired moves, Violetta's poses became increasingly flattering and alluring, much to her mother's satisfaction with the resulting photos. The next day, in the classroom at school, Violetta is still practicing the poses her mother asked her to do last night. School is over, and surprisingly, her mother comes to pick her up from school. Her mother makes her change into a beautiful lace dress. Many of her classmates watch the scene, which makes Violetta a little embarrassed, but her mother persists, asserting that they're all just a bunch of rednecks and that everyone looks at her because she's pretty. "You are the most beautiful girl in the world," her mother declares, giving Violetta a kiss. Violetta happily takes her mother's hand and walks away with her. Once again at the studio, her mother makes Violetta change into a more revealing dress. She exudes sexiness and seduction with flaming red lips. Her mother compares Violetta to Shirley Temple and lavishly praises her beauty. This boosts Violetta's confidence. This time, without her mother having to instruct her, Violetta effortlessly strikes a series of poses on her own.
Très bien. Ah, c'est exactement ça. Tu sais toi, je sais pas comment tu fais, mais tu sais.
Her mother asks Violetta to pose like the characters in the works of the French master painter Balthus.
C'est ça qui est somptueux, c'est proéminent. On dirait une fleur vénéneuse.
At school, Violetta is mobbed by her classmates for her new hairstyle. So soft, like a marshmallow. This is so cool. Violetta loves the feeling of being noticed and praised like a star. She starts wearing lipstick, putting on her own makeup, and dressing in fancy clothes. She dances to songs, imagining herself as a big star. Violetta's grandmother witnesses all this and notices many more Gothic-style horror dolls in Violetta's room. Feeling vaguely worried, the grandmother continues to pray, asking for blessings to keep Violetta good and pure from evil. With her daughter's artistic photographs, the mother manages to penetrate the coveted upper echelons of society. There's even an exhibition of the photos, and Violetta stands in a crowded showroom. This is the world of adults. In the photos, she appears flirty, aloof, and unique, but lacking the innocence that belongs to a child. This distinct beauty attracts the attention of many. The mother proudly says that her work is literary art, and her daughter Violetta is her most successful work of art. Violetta becomes the center of attention, with everyone praising her and fascinated by her. A reporter interviews Violetta about her thoughts during the shoot, and she strokes her neck, leans in, and poses as if taking a picture. The exhibition is a success, allowing her mother to earn a lot of money. It's a time of fame, with her mother increasingly taking Violetta to various parties. At school, Violetta is teased by her classmates about the disgusting pictures she takes. Violetta retorts that it's art and gets into a fight with her classmates. Violetta's best friend comforts her and offers her a shoulder to lean on. One day, Violetta's mother wakes her up from her sleep and insists on taking her away. Despite her grandmother's resistance, Violetta herself doesn't want to go either. She wants to stay with her grandmother. However, her mother uses money as leverage, saying, "If you don't go, you won't be able to go to the store later to buy your favorite cakes and dresses." Money is very important to this family. Reluctantly, Violetta follows her mother as they travel to the estate of a nobleman in England. This time, the mother's demands are even more excessive, but Violetta does not agree. Her mother ignores all her resistance, furiously pressing the shutter and even making more excessive demands, which Violetta refuses in disgust. As her mother continues to persuade her and even yells at her, Violetta explodes with shame and frustration. Violetta confronts her mother, recognizing that her mother is using her as a little girl to gain attention. Her mother tries to cajole Violetta by calling her a little princess and claiming that everything she's doing is for her happiness. She also tries to convince Violetta that she's in the arts and makes her a big star, asking if she wants to return to her old life of mediocrity. However, Violetta knows that these aren't the arts she wants to pursue. When Violetta tries to drop the album full of her pictures, her mother stops her. Finally, her mother reveals the truth, that she has to do it even if she doesn't want to, and that she has already received a lot of money for it. Disappointed and angry, Violetta tells her mother that she no longer loves her and doesn't want her to be her mother. Her mother continues to try to brainwash her, insisting that she loves Violetta more than any other mother could. Violetta remains adamant that she won't do it and that she wants to go back home. Unbeknownst to her, the girl's life has veered off course. Violetta finds herself alone at school, with no one to play with. After school, her mother waits for her and presents her with an elaborate gift, a red dress, and continues to persuade Violetta to attend a photo shoot with her, promising not to sell the pictures to magazines. However, Violetta remains unmoved. In pursuit of more exciting photos, her mother begins intruding into the bathroom while Violetta is inside, grabbing the camera and snapping away, driving Violetta crazy. Later, her mother writes a letter of apology, attempting to reconcile, but failing to acknowledge the harm she has caused. In class, Violetta tears the letter to shreds, seriously disrupting classroom discipline. The teacher grabs a defiant Violetta, ordering her not to wear revealing clothes anymore and punishing her by making her stand in the doorway. Bewildered, Violetta wonders where she went wrong. She only wants to take good-looking photos, not just for attention but also to earn money. Why has she now been reduced to a tool for her mother to exploit? Returning home, Violetta cries and seeks solace in her grandmother's arms, but her grandmother is old and cannot help her. Determined to confront her mother, Violetta arrives at the studio only to find her photographing another little girl, still wearing the red dress meant for her. Realizing she has been replaced, Violetta is devastated. She cries out for her mother's attention, but her mother ignores her until Violetta obediently puts on her dress and poses to her mother's satisfaction. In agony, Violetta desperately resists her mother's control but fears being replaced. She teeters on the verge of a breakdown, torn between her desires and her mother's manipulation. When Violetta visits her best friend's house to play, she observes her friend's mother embracing her daughter warmly and wonders why her own mother never hugs her. Her friend's mom refers to Violetta as a big star and displays the magazine with her picture, reading the comment aloud.
Ni enfant ni femme, ni ange ni bête, Anna Giorgio a créé un être hybride qui reflète bien les incertitudes de cette fin de siècle.
Realizing that she's perceived as a monster rather than a star, Violetta panics and runs away. Returning home, Violetta confronts her mother, but her mother explains that's a sign of love. In a firm tone, her mother insists that Violetta should be grateful for the given opportunity to become famous. She argues that this is what art is all about, citing examples of movie stars and statues in museums. Ignoring her mother's reasoning, Violetta accuses her of failing to show maternal affection like other mothers do. In an attempt to calm her down and mend their relationship, her mother complies with Violetta's request and hugs her tightly, declaring her love and affirming that Violetta will always be her sweetheart. The two return to find their grandmother dead, and Violetta has to move in with her mother. This dysfunctional family catches the attention of the social welfare agency. The investigator visits, finding the house in disarray, with food and garbage piled up on the table. Upon entering the room, the investigator is shocked to see skeletons everywhere, along with black wreaths, strange dolls, and black flannel blocking out all light. The investigator informs the mother that she is forbidden to take pictures of young Violetta. With their source of income cut off, the mother takes matters into her own hands. Violetta watches as her mother poses for the camera. She asks her mother if they can live normally. Her mother responds that if they live a normal life, they can resume taking pictures of her again. Mom hasn't changed. She still wants to hurt her and use her. Violetta then rolls on the floor in a frenzy, letting out an animalistic roar. Violetta's bizarre behavior worries her mother, but her mother is more concerned about the possibility of her negatives being confiscated by the agency. She quickly sells them all to the magazines. Violetta sees posters of her portrait plastered all over the streets. She approaches the investigator and asks why the pictures haven't been destroyed. The investigator looks at her apologetically, explaining that it's the judge's decision. Violetta feels desperate, longing for her grandmother's love and care. She walks into a church and prays. Beside her, Violetta notices an old woman and asks her to be her grandmother. However, her last hope shatters when the old woman kindly refuses. She resorts to stealing a woman's bag on the street and gets sent to a juvenile detention center. There, she cuts off her long hair and gains a sense of freedom to live life on her own terms. One day, her mother comes to visit her. Upon hearing this, Violetta jumps out of the window and flees. Unwilling to face her mother, an innocent and lively little girl is extinguished in the name of love. The future remains uncertain for Violetta, but it's certain that she will spend her life healing from the scars of her childhood. At the end of the movie, the mother appears in the juvenile detention center, dressed like a holy nun. This stark contrast to her previous dark style suggests that she has, in a way, absorbed her daughter's youth and life, reshaping her own existence. It becomes evident that the daughter has been lured into the abyss by her mother's pursuit of selfishness and fame, though she masks it with notions of love and art. Like the disturbing allegations in Quiet on Set, there are many abusive and toxic behaviors behind the scenes. The producers take advantage of the child's innocence, their unworldly tenderness. They use their own positions of power to silence the children. Furthermore, child stardom is dangerous. Children naturally want to rebel, experiment, and get attention. However, under public observation, they lack the freedom to do anything they want without facing major repercussions. A young child may not even understand what the entertainment industry is. They receive excessive attention, giving them a false idea of who they are and where they fit into the world. When faced with challenges or assaults, children's age and understanding are insufficient to confront them. What do you think about this? Incidents like this are commonplace, but recent events in the news underscore the urgency of bringing this issue to everyone's attention. The future of our children cannot be ruined. Thanks for joining Zombies Cat on this movie. Abduct the subscribe button, hit the bell, and stay me out of this world. Until next time, keep those reels rolling. Zombies Cat signing off.